Hello, beautiful soul. I want to talk about late pregnancy today. In March 2025, a miracle has happened. At the age of 42, I became pregnant. Lifelong dream came true. I looked at the pregnancy test and look at my face in the mirror in the bathroom. And I had a feeling as if I was 10 centimeters floating over the tiles in my bathroom. That's how happy I felt. This was the start of pregnancy. Now it's almost November 25. I'm 9 months pregnant. So there's only a week, maybe up to 3 weeks before this beautiful treasure comes to life. As you can see, he's on his way. And what I want to talk about today is both the blessing and the hardship, which came to me as a surprise because I have to admit that getting pregnant at the age of 42 with the first baby um, felt like the biggest blessing and still does and feels like a miracle. I remember journaling about me wanting to become a mom for years and years, still trying to find a partner I would like to start the family with. And it felt like life hasn't been aligning fast enough um, with my dream. But it happened. It finally happened. And I have to say, I was quite naive, imagining my pregnancy um, like a Disney movie. I have to admit that. I heard some stories before from other women that pregnancy can be tough, especially in terms of morning sickness and other symptoms, pregnancy symptoms that we as women can face while pregnant. But somehow I interpreted that information as something much lighter. I witnessed pregnant women on the streets. I had some pregnant women among my friends. And I lived in the bubble believing that it's just an amazing period of your life where you can focus on your career and start nesting. And you have 9 months for that. But my pregnancy turned out to be quite a challenging experience. And because of its challenges, with all the symptoms, I started feeling soon after I found out I'm pregnant, I started losing myself in the process. And something that I've always dreamt of, becoming pregnant and being pregnant, started feeling like a burden, started feeling like something unbearably heavy, started feeling like something, do I dare to say, I felt like regretting. And the battle started. This late pregnancy started becoming more like a hardship than a blessing. And of course, knowing myself and knowing how long I've been waiting for that miracle to happen, to come to fruition, it was heartbreaking feeling the feelings I've had, following my emotions within the process of pregnancy that was getting more and more advanced. There was also a moment um, where, amongst the struggles, where I wasn't able to focus on my work and career and felt like a failure around the house. Um, I have to say my partner has not been supportive to the extent that I also expected he would be. He could himself not understand why I'm working less, earning less, why am I at home all day, and the way how he was interpreting reality, he couldn't understand how come laying on the sofa um, is so necessary for me that I can't even make some dinner or do some house chores while I claim that I cannot focus on work, etc. So the battle has been really real. And his attitude, which was not like patting me on the shoulder and saying, Kasia, everything is going to be fine, just lay on the sofa and rest, his attitude was quite opposite. And that was also adding a lot of pressure on me feeling guilty. So the battle was real. And in the end, this hardship was getting so hard. I started getting some treatment like acupuncture for my sickness. I uh, was looking for some help because I could feel that I'm losing the ground under my feet. But what was really striking me was that feeling, growing feeling of guilt, where I couldn't understand my own thoughts. How come the dream that I've been dreaming about for so long all of a sudden feels like a burden, and I'm not sure I want that baby anymore because I feel so bad. And talking about it, I remember the moments when I felt, Kasia, stop being such a whining person. Just get over it. It's been your dream. Get over it. I was trying to put myself up together. I was using breathing techniques. I was using different coaching and embodiment tools to help myself. But I could not help but think the thought, I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want to be pregnant any longer. And there came the moment actually that was quite turbulent or adding even more pressure to the whole situation, where early in pregnancy, early but not that early, it was over 3 months, we found out that there was a risk that the baby might be born with some genetical sickness. And I stood in front of the choice. I had to make a choice if I will say yes to potentially endangering pregnancy procedure to check if the baby has genetical issues or not, or a fetus, not a baby yet, fetus. I said yes ultimately to that procedure, encouraged by my boyfriend who said, or my fiance who said that if we don't find out now, we potentially risk bringing to the world the child that will not survive anyway. So it would be a lot of suffering, not only for you as a woman carrying the child, but also for the child. So we went through the procedure, and luckily there was good news that it was the false alarm. And that moment, I knew how much I want that baby. That moment made me realize that I really, really want to fight for it. And however, why am I adding that bit of the story? Because even though I felt a huge relief that the baby is healthy and it felt like the second chance, I still was catching myself having those thoughts, those conflicting thoughts. I want it, but I don't know if I want it. Um, I want it so badly, but I feel so exhausted because of those symptoms, pregnancy symptoms that knock me down. And that feeling of guilt was growing and growing because of those conflicting thoughts. And in the end, I decided to find a psychologist to get extra help and support. And those sessions with psychologists, there weren't many, 4 in total, but they really helped me not so much change the perspective, but they gave me permission to feel the feelings I felt, I'll never forget on one of those sessions with a psychologist, he said, Kasia, you are aware of the fact that you can feel and think both. So part of you may think this is such a miracle. I can't wait to hold that baby in my arms. And part of you at the same time can think, this is so hard. I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I want it. And hearing him say that, I have to say it opened like secret door for me, where that feeling of guilt disappeared because I gave myself permission to feel both, think both at the same time. And that, like, concluding my story of late pregnancy and seeing it both as a tremendous blessing, miracle, and hardship. What I've learned within that period of time, within those last 9 months, which I can easily say has been the hardest time in my entire life. I never thought I would say that, but it was something that was most challenging. And trust me, I've gone through many challenges in life, being brought up in Poland and coming from poverty and addiction in the family. This pregnancy has been one of the most challenging times in my life. But in that hardship, in this hardship, I also found a lot of grace and blessings. This time I needed to learn acceptance and really learn it, really learn it. I remember before becoming pregnant, I was learning acceptance, and I thought I'm pretty good at accepting a lot of things. And I was teaching that also as a mentor to my clients, the power of acceptance. But I think this pregnancy has been the cornerstone of really me learning to accept the life as it comes. We're going to experience many hardships in our life. Things we have not been expecting, people letting us down, situations changing, work situations changing. Hardship is the natural part of our life. You would probably agree with me. But what helped me go through those 9 months of hardship was me getting up every day and studying the grace of acceptance, just taking one day at a time. And evenings are the worst still. I struggle with falling asleep. I feel lots of pains that I've never felt before. But this acceptance, this belief that there is a higher power that supports me, that I'm never alone, helps me go through every hardship. That faith, that hope, that it's not going to be like that forever. It's temporary, like everything in life. Every hardship we go through is temporary. And I think when we stop for a moment and rather than focusing only on how hard the hardship is, we start focusing on or putting the light on what is a blessing for me in this hardship? What does this hardship bring me? That change of perspective changes everything. So no matter what hardship you are struggling with right now, I want to inspire you to stop and ask yourself the question, what blessing is hidden in this hardship? What can I take out of this hardship as a blessing? Because there is a blessing. Every hardship comes to us as a gift, even when it's really hard to see it, because we suffer, because we feel pain, because we are surprised with the for us of something that we hadn't expected would be our reality. And sometimes our hardship can last an hour, a day, a month. Sometimes it can be years. Hang on in there. Notice what blessings are hiding in the hardship you are going through. Every hardship, and it's not about comparing whose hardship is harder or worse, but every hardship has got lessons and blessings that we can really take a fruit of. And I want to inspire you to find that blessing in your hardship today. Just like I found my blessing of acceptance, of surrender, because all my life has been turned upside down. My relationship has changed and had to go through the season of evolution. My career has changed and currently goes through the season of evolution. Everything changes. But hardships are our gifts when we choose to look at them like that. And I wish you strength because I know there is a lot of strength in every and each of us. And if you feel like giving up, if you feel like you can't do it on your own, remember you don't have to do it on your own. Seek help, like I was seeking help of a professional psychologist. Talk about your hardship, but with people who are willing to encourage you rather than put you down. Talk to people who are here to support you, but don't want you to be in the victim role. They want to help you find that courage and strength to go through this challenging period in your life. Late pregnancy, blessing and hardship. I wish you a beautiful day. Thank you for watching and listening. And thank you for being you. Wonderful soul. I'll see you soon. I'm Kasia Krasucka. I'm an embodiment coach, helping you find hope and helping you bloom and blossom even when you think it's too late for that. I like to say it might feel late, or you might feel that you are too late, but trust me, you are perfectly on time. Thank you. To the next time.